My trip was awesome. It really, really was great. I didn't want to come back to reality,
Oh my god.
but at some point you have to.
You were hard to get a
But it
hold
was
of.
good. We had a really good time. The yacht thing probably was one of the best things that we've ever experienced together, ever.
No
Hands down.
way.
Yeah, it was a lot better than even what I thought it was going to be. And pictures
Really?
and stuff just doesn't do it justice.
Really?
Yeah.
What
So
made it?
we're
What like was there? I mean, did you guys was it a lovemaking boat? Like, wait,
love making on the boat.
what
But
made
like
it
they
so
had
good?
music,
Oh,
you could dance. Like, and the captain was awesome.
really?
The captain made the trip. Like, he actually stood back and we were dancing, and he did a video for us.
Oh.
And I didn't even realize he did the video, but he was really good. He knew everything. He'd say, "Hey, this is so and so's house. It's $40 million house, all this crap."
Yeah.
But he was really good, and he just had a really good outgoing personality, and he helped make the trip. As a matter of fact, the plan is to get a group together. If you're in the U.S., you can do it too. We want to fly down on Friday.
Let's do it.
Charter the yacht all day on Saturday.
Let's do it.
Because he's got kayaks, everything on board. Your food, drinks, everything, and then fly back Sunday.
Wow.
And split it between 4 or 5 people. It comfortably holds 12 people.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if you're in the water and doing whatever, it's not really that bad. So, that's what we're looking at doing.
You can
I'm game. I would go today.
You can. You can jump in the water, like
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
Is it clear or is it dark?
If you want to charter it for a weekend, he'll take you to the Bahamas. It doesn't
Really?
matter. There's 2
Wow.
staterooms on board.
Did you,
But I mean, he'll do whatever.
wow, that's amazing. Did you see like any big animals, fish in the water?
Nah, just really big houses and boats.
Any alligators?
No alligators.
I'm so not good with nature. Me and nature, we just don't get along.
No.
Wow. Well, you know what? That sounds awesome. Like the fact that you had like one of the best times that you ever expected. That's incredible. I love moments like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, best thing I ever did. Well, and my wife now is like, I don't know if you're familiar with this show called Below Deck Mediterranean. It's these mega yachts that you can charter.
Right.
She's like, we should charter a boat, not like a mega yacht, for a few days.
Yeah.
Those things cost like between $30,000 and $40,000.
Yes.
That ain't happening.
It is insane. Actually, get this. I saw one for a week, $20 million.
Oh yeah, stupid prices.
And it holds like 32 people and 3 different decks. I'm like, what is going
That doesn't count
on?
your 20% tip at the end.
Right. I was like, what is going on? Like, who is renting out these boats?
I know.
I don't know. That's on a whole nother level that people that I don't hang out with.
Yeah, April thought she was funny. She's, we're cruising by, and you wave at people cruising by, and she looked at me and she says, we look like the shit right now.
That's awesome. Oh,
But
man.
the good thing about that trip was, I came back, I checked my mail. You knew about one property I picked up. I actually picked up another one, but even better than that, I picked up 3 different checks.
You saved that purposely to tell me during the show. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. But that's great. 3 checks? That's huge.
Yeah. 2 of them are like owner finance deals.
Yeah.
But one's the deal that I had done. So,
Oh,
yeah. So it's like,
man.
the systems, if you got the right systems in place,
Right.
it just proves that you can take a vacation and still, not be bankrupt at the end of the week.
That's so funny. You got money coming in to replenish the account. So let's kind of narrow it down to closing. You do a lot of self-closing. So let's talk about title versus attorney, right? And then also the self-closing. So what would you say, what would you say between title and attorney is pros and cons of the two?
Well, let me preface this by telling my attorney friends, don't take it personal.
Okay.
but I prefer to close with title companies than attorneys.
Really?
And the reason being is really the attorney adds another fee in that layer of stuff.
True.
I mean that typically I don't have to pay when I'm closing through a title company.
Yeah.
And a lot of states are like Florida's a title company state, where North Carolina's an attorney state. That's one thing. If you're going to a new state, you need to know that. You need to find that out, which way it is. But I like the title, and I tell you another thing about title companies, Nathan, is I don't like the big ones like Chicago Title Company or what. I like the smaller ones.
Yeah.
They seem to be more flexible to do things. There's one in a particular county in Florida, like he only does that county. But, man, he was so awesome to work with, and his rates were so good. I'm begging him to branch out now. but they're generally good. You know, you're talking to the person. So I like them. Again, I don't have any complaints on the attorney thing, other than sometimes attorney closings can be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah. What about unique deals though? Like, you know, there's some times where you can have a title state, right? And the title company closes, but it's a unique deal. Like some title companies will not draft contracts, right? They won't do it. They'll like bring your own contract. So when that happens, are you more in favor of, you know, having do it yourself, or do you have an attorney draft it?
Well, you know, I obviously have our own sets of contracts we use, so I do my own. But I tell you one thing that I do get a lot of times is, especially with buyers and sellers both, sometimes they'll want to have their attorneys look over the contract that I draft between us.
Yeah,
and I have no problem with that, because the attorneys have looked at our contracts and said they're good. So, and I encourage them. I say, if you have some reservations, feel free to let your attorney. I've never had an attorney beat mine up. Knock on wood. I'll go to hell in a handbasket. But no, I don't mind that. But if you are in a unique situation, you can also say it's just a screwy deal. If you can get an attorney to draw that particular deal contract up for you. And I do a mixture of things. I know we hadn't even got into the self closings yet, but I've actually had a property that the title chain was a little screwy. It was good, but it needed to stay clean. So I actually had my attorney to do the title work, and then I took and closed it after that, and he was good with that. I did the self closing on that end.
Okay.
I just needed to make sure that the title was prepared correctly on that one, because there was a little nuances in that one that was different from most.
Okay. And how about the differences of like self-closing, especially, I mean, when do you self-close? In what situations?
If it's a more expensive property, I don't. Usually those less than really $5,000-$10,000 are the ones. And I still have title searches done, and there's a couple ways you can do that. You can, you know, have a title company do it, or the VAs are great. I had I just got a message from a fellow investor that just found they hired a VA that did an awesome job. They're doing self closing with owner finance, and this VA did came back a 10-page report. And it cost them less than $30.
Goodness.
That's like $275.
Jeez.
You know, at a title company.
Yeah.
And it was good stuff. And as a matter of fact, I actually had one that I used a VA on that I already had a title company thing back on. I wanted to make sure that it was still a good title search. And they matched up. So we talk about utilizing VAs. If you find the right VA, that's somebody that can do I want to and I'm not trying to go off on a realm of title searches, but on self closings, if I'm going to hold on to a property, you know, rather it be owner finance or whatever, I want to do a title search, just to make sure I'm not buying something crazy. Now, if I'm just buying it from the seller and then selling it to my buyer, then it's not if my end buyer wants to do a title search, they can. Most of the time on the smaller properties, you don't, especially the cash deals. But self-closings, years ago, I used to be horrified of them. I thought,
really?
But they're really easy. I mean, I'll buy one and sell it and mail the 2 deeds in at the same time to be recorded. So,
okay.
But the key to that is, I type a letter out and I put a little sticky note on it. Record this deed before you record this other one.
So you like label it and organize it for them.
Yeah, they got to record me buying it, and then they got to record me selling it. If you get it swapped around.
Have you had any mistakes before? Like, have they made a mistake?
I've not, but I'm really OCD about putting those notes out.
Oh my gosh.
Most registrars are going to look at that stuff before they record it, but But it's cool how you can do both. I mean, you can send them in together. It's not a big deal. The best thing about self-closings is you can do them. I've done them as little as $20.
Yeah.
Or if you're using a mobile notary, like an older person, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll find a mobile notary in the area. Cost me about $100. Send the check. If I'm buying the property from the person, I'll send the check to the notary and his check for his service. Let him meet with them, get everything signed, give him the check, and then he'll mail it all back to me.
Yeah.
And that makes the seller feel more comfortable.
Right.
We've done it a couple times on the buyer side, but now with stuff going virtual, like you were talking about, notaries online and things, that's a way to do it also.
Yeah, and actually, Donald just makes this comment about how he just found Notarized.com, and I've mentioned this many, many times, and it should be on our members area, by the way, also. I'm pretty sure I've done a video about this. I actually recorded a video, or I have tried to record a video with me doing one live, because I use Notarized.com on a weekly basis, and the only thing is, it's kind of like, I'll probably have to record it and then edit it, because you can't record your screen while you're on the video with them. For some reason, the software knows it. And there's a little bit of legal questions that they ask along the way. So I'll try to, record that for our members and stuff. But yeah, Notarized.com, again, is another great source, another tool. I use it on a regular basis. $25. How much is a mobile notary costing these days?
I've seen them $50 to $100, depending on what I have them do.
Yeah, and they got to drive too, so.
Yeah, and they got to drive, and now with COVID stuff, it's a little quirky.
Yeah,
but the mobile, the thing you're talking, Notarized.com, that's a great site.
Yeah. Notarized.com. I've been using that now probably over 5 years, and I was reading an article somewhere, wasn't on their website, but someone else was talking about their business and how it just shot right up. And it's true, because now with the amount of, because of COVID, and that's just been a great thing. And again, we have the emergency, I don't know the correct term for it, but the Emergency Notarization Act, let's just call it that, because maybe I should find what the exact title is. But there was basically an emergency because of COVID that a lot of these states have now had the ability to e-file, e-close, and e-notarize, being accepted in all states, rather than just maybe a handful, 40 or 45 states, whatever it was. But now they're all going that direction, which is long overdue, I think, for the United States, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I think, again, this goes back to my whole conversation about how COVID has helped a lot of situations in this area. I noticed in your mentioning the self-close, these were properties typically smaller deals, under 5,000. You said, why smaller? Yeah. Why wouldn't you self-close a larger deal?
Number one, usually there's more of a spread of profit in the larger deals, and most people that's going to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, they're going to want to go through a title company or something, because there's a little level of trust, because you guys send me a check before I'm going to mail out this deed that's in your name.
Right.
So there's a level of trust that you have to deal with there. So most of the larger deals, you just run them through the title company. If it's a tight deal, do an assignment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because self-closing, and me personally, I think you're a champ for doing them. I would just hate. I'd probably butcher the paperwork. I'd just be
Well,
just.
I'm telling you, it's just been a few years that I've done them.
Yeah.
I used to be horrified, and I just made myself do them, and now it's not.
It's not as bad.
No, it's not. It's not. You can find usually online. Make sure you get a deed for that state.
Yeah.
How they do it. What I typically do is I'll go to deeds.com,
right,
create an account for 5 days free
to
use.
Yeah.
Get it, cancel it on the 4th day.
It's not like me with my Be Verified account. It's like, I just need a trial for 7 days.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So definitely on the smaller deals, I can agree. Like sometimes buyers will not, especially on larger deals, they just won't do it. What's another positive though about working? What's a positive about working with attorneys? Because I know, again, the biggest thing is people say, "Oh, it's expensive," but see, I like to lean on my attorneys, and maybe that's because I've invested in a few different states and I don't want to what's the law? Let me go look up the law. And what if I'm wrong with the law? It's like, if they know the law in that state, they are going to know, right? They do contracts for a living. That's what they do every day, all day. So for me, I lean more towards attorneys. What's your take on attorneys, about using them, not using them, and that stuff?
Good attorneys are worth their weight in gold. I'll give you a prime example. Investor friend of mine, you know him as well, had a deal. He was talking with one attorney. This attorney said it was going to take 6 months to clear this title out. And I referred him to a new attorney, one of my new attorneys I'm using also. And he contacted him, showed him the deal, fixed it within a week.
Yeah.
It was going to be a no-go deal. And this attorney, because of his expertise and stuff, been in real estate law for many, many years.
Right.
Knew exactly what to do.
Real estate attorneys are not only transactional, but you can make it into a relationship. And if it wasn't for the real estate lawyers that I have, example, I'm meeting up with another real estate lawyer tomorrow. You know what he did? He sends me a message on my phone. This is what he did. Sends me a message, Nathan, when are you free? Right? Nathan, I have 2 projects to show you. Hey, buddy, when? Tomorrow, 2 o'clock? Yeah, let's do it. 2 o'clock, right? Yeah. Why? You know what? That is a good real estate lawyer. Why? Because he's going to bring me 2 bankruptcy deals that no one would know about, that no one's going to touch. And I'm going to be there first cherry picking. I like those kinds of deals. I think those are, those are deals that a lot of sometimes people don't get in touch with because they think lawyers are like these big, people and, they're really expensive. But I like my real estate lawyers. I really do. And I'm going to stick by them. So that's fine.
You can develop good relationships with them. I know that our friend Harry, he actually had 2 pool parties today at his other house.
Oh, really? Wait,
he's sick.
2 pool parties?
He's sick, so him and his family was at one, and he sent this invite out to people to go to the other house for a pool party or whatever. I didn't go, but yeah. So you start developing almost a personal relationship.
Yeah.
With some of them, but the biggest thing. I guess the biggest pro to attorneys and title companies is that you give it to them. It's their job to push this thing through closing. Not to say that you shouldn't hand it to them and forget it. You still got to sometimes follow up. Like I had a note to follow up on one tomorrow. But they're going to go through and do all these steps. You don't have to worry about drafting, deeds and all that. It's done. So that's a pro to, using an attorney or a title company is that, you don't have to handle the closing docs. That's That's what they're there for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's I agree. I think again, I like what you said about Harry is because I think when you get more on a personal level, I think just in on an easy simplistic note, real estate is a contract business. Okay? It's a contract thing. It although there's sticks and bricks, I get it. But at the end of the day, it's a legal business. It's contracts. It's those things. And it can really trip you up, especially when you get in bigger deals. You know, when you get in bigger deals and all of a sudden you got contracts that are like 20 pages thick and you got operating agreements, right? We just had an operating agreement, right? Yeah. All that stuff, man, is important. I think a lot of people just kind of like brush it off like, it's an attorney. Yeah, they're expensive. No, they're there to save your bum.
Yep, exactly.
They're there to protect you when the times get tough. Because in the beginning, a lot of people can feel, especially when they're starting out, like I understand, doing things on a budget. That's why I do those, whether you're doing self-closings, you can do it yourself. But then there's also tools like Rocket Lawyer or LegalZoom. Rocket Lawyer, you can contact a lawyer. You can have them answer your questions. You're talking to a real lawyer. That kind of stuff, I always think is really important. So anyway, I'm ranting.
I got a question for you on attorneys.
Yeah.
How many times have you posed something to them and they give you the answer you were really not wanting? It's the correct answer they give you. And in the long run, it saves your butt. Oh, but it's like, dang, that's not what I want to hear.
Of course, I hear that both from them and my CPAs, man. It's like but I agree. Like there are things that sometimes we think in our mind that are okay. And I'll tell you what, I have a big pet peeve. I hope everybody who watches this video does not do this ever again. But it's just going to happen. But I have a big pet peeve. When I see some of these Facebook groups and I see someone post in a group, just randomly, they ask a legal question or a tax question to an entire group of non-professional people. Just random.
Scary.
I mean, from beginner to intermediate investors, they're asking tax questions, legal questions, just to hack around the lawyer. And I'll tell you what, every time I ask them, do you have a real estate lawyer? They say no.
You asked that question to somebody the other day, yesterday or the day before.
Wait, who?
On one of the real estate groups. There was somebody asked.
Oh yeah, you saw my post?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, that's when
it didn't make any sense.
Right? It doesn't. Yeah, and that's the reality of it is because I think people try to get around the lawyer. Oh, lawyers are expensive. Doctors are expensive. But the lawyer is there to protect you when things go bad. See, a lot of people think lawyers, first of all, litigation, retainers. No, are you a criminal right now? I mean, or hopefully you never are. But if you're not going through litigation, then you don't need a retainer. They only get paid upon closing. Now, if you want them to review documents and you want them to go through that, most of the time they'll charge you at closing. Most of the time, if you're not on a good relationship with the lawyer and maybe you just call them out of the blue, they're going to invoice you right away. Oh, yeah. If you have a good relationship with you, they'll do the work first and then they'll bill you after. Especially with real estate closings, they get paid at closing. And then other times you build a great relationship with them and they end up sending you deals. And the reality is, what people miss out on, probate deals, divorce deals, there are so many other deals that lawyers handle on a regular basis that it's just a phone call. And they're like, hey, Mike, hey, Nate, I got this deal that just came across my desk. You guys thinking you could solve this problem? And all of a sudden, it's got a huge deal with, hey, I'll never forget what just was said recently. One of our clients, Tim, he made a comment to me. This was, BC, before COVID. He made a comment to me. His lawyer had a property. The guy didn't have time to fix it. Okay? The guy's being a lawyer. He's a real estate lawyer, full-time, busy guy. He had a property that needed to be rehabbed, right? So Tim made the suggestion, hey man, do you want me to rehab your property? I'll handle all costs. I'll get paid at the end. I'll get paid at the closing, at the final. You just cover all the rehab costs. The lawyer said, absolutely, awesome. Did the guy a service. They split the profit, the net profit, 50-50.
Yeah, if you get a relationship and you work with some, you get unique things. I mean, we're familiar with doing some in-kind service stuff with real estate deals with an attorney. I mean, you never know. Things get creative.
Yeah, things can get creative. I mean, definitely creative. But at the end of the day, that's real estate. I mean, that's really what it is. It's what can you do to put the deal together to make it happen. Somebody knows someone. And I don't know. I don't want to call it old school, but at the end of the day, real estate is a local business. And when you're trying to market and get into an area and do business, you got to know the real estate lawyers. And I think, Mike, I've probably told you this a few times. I think in North Carolina, I probably have like 5 that I go that are like, those are my guys in North Carolina. And they're different parts of the state, right? And then in South Carolina, I have 2. And those are my guys, and they're literally text messages away. In Uganda, I have 2. One is my brother-in-law, which is really nice, and then here in Portugal, I have 2. One of them I'm meeting up with tomorrow. That's how it should be. I know most people don't think that way, but like Harry's inviting you to a pool party, which would probably be awesome. I wish you had gone to that. Yeah. I mean, that would probably be awesome. But yeah, because you know who would have been there? You would probably see. Paul. You'd probably see Paul.
Paul may have been.
And the other guy, the rehabber guy. I forgot his name.
Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff would be there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, relationships in general in real estate are important.
Yeah.
You never know. I'll give you a quick story. The house we're in now was a foreclosure house. The people pulled out an equity line, rehabbed the whole house.
Yeah.
Lost their job or whatever, lost the house.
Really?
So when I bought it, it was the time when we were buying a lot of HUD property.
Yeah.
This was a HUD house. I found it before it ever came on the market.
Right.
And I called the manager, the HUD manager for this area. I said, look, I've never have asked for a favor.
Yeah.
Just never have. But I heard Skullbug. It was already going to go over market, what they were going to ask for it. And I said, look, done a lot of business with you. I'm asking for a favor.
Yeah.
And we got the house.
Wow.
And there was a lot of offers on the table.
Exactly.
Offers she wanted to. We did pay a little bit over, but
yeah,
things pan out.
Exactly. That's so true, man. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it comes down to relationships. It's a buddy business. Listen to what I found. The more real estate you do transactionally, you've done a whole boatload. I was going to say a bad word, but a bad YouTube word. You can do a whole boatload. You've done a whole boatload of deals. And I've also noticed the higher you go in commercial real estate, it's just who do you know? And when people start talking and relationships are being built, people look for people that they trust, they know and trust, and they do deals with. At the end of the day, that's the game.
Yeah, it's funny story. Also, the boat that we went on, the captain, of the boat or yacht we went on, he actually got his money to buy that yacht from real estate.
Oh, really?
He sold a company right when the market tanked. He said, "Look, I had close to $500,000 that was sitting there." He said, my wife and I started buying houses. We were buying them, 30 cents on the dollar. They bought them. They rehabbed them. They leased them out till the market got better.
Nice.
And then cashed them all in.
Nice. Look at that guy. So he had a real estate conversation.
Yeah, because he asked what I did. We started,
Oh, snap. What are the odds, right? And that's one thing that's really cool about real estate is everybody has a desire. I don't know why, but okay, if you're a progressive human being or you just want to live a better life, everybody talks about real estate. They have it like, I've always wanted to be in real estate. And then you run into the people who actually have done deals and have made money in real estate, which is great. I was going to ask you something and I totally forgot. Oh, no. I was going to tell you that I think we should recap just a few things before we end the show today. A little bit of client success. Because I know Donald was on here chatting it up, and also Donald has 2 deals closing this month, as per Friday in our live video, while you were on your yacht. we were talking about you and sharing updates, but just to give you the updates is that one, I'll just rattle it off the top here. Donald has 2 closing, I believe, 1 this week and 1 next week. Yeah, because this is the week of 1 the 16th, so that's next week. Yeah, so 1 this week and 1 next week. And then Sarah has 3 in the pipeline. Adam has 2 in the pipeline. Adam,
he's got 2 now.
It's
wow.
2. It's 2. 2 buyers. No, they've already sent the EMD checks and everything.
Man, I'm happy for all of our people, but
yeah,
Adam was starting to come out the gate too.
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him because he had 2 that was that's going to closing, and they're both going to close this month. I think he's going to probably have to correct me on these numbers because I've been flipping numbers all day. But I think he's over $20K in profit on the deal.
Taking him a glass of wine to his lake house.
Exactly.
We'll FaceTime you.
Yeah, exactly. That would be great. And then I just don't have an update on Nick. I think
Nick's. I gotta talk to Nick. We're talking this coming week.
Okay.
So I'll give everybody an update maybe next week.
Yeah.
His buyer was solid, so I know that they were sending in like a pretty big EMD check. So
yeah. So we got and then I think those are kind of like the most recent updates that we have. And Sarah's still crushing it. Sarah's working on, just to give you an update from Friday's call. Sarah's working on CRMs. I mean, she's looking to get organized like crazy, which is really good. That's when you can tell someone is really growing and scaling, where they're like, okay, how do I organize my business and how do I make things, flow a lot better? So yeah, those are my updates for this week off the top of my head.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm so happy everybody's doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Well, good stuff, man. That's about it. Those are my updates. We're gonna make it a great week. Good show. And all right, everybody. Well, thanks for chiming in, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place. Peace.
See ya.